Today, we take a look at the GUI for setting up input and output options. Throughout your usage of multiple tools in the NLP suite, you will likely be focusing on the same input file or files and you will probably direct them to the same output. As such, rather than inputting an input file and an output file every time you use a tool, you use the default input-output GUI to set those up permanently. And this will keep them the same every time you use a different tool. To access that GUI, you go to the three widgets shown at the top. The first widget, the stick box, tells you if the input have been set up or not. If it is ticked as it is now, that means that the input and output is set up. Otherwise, it is not, and you will have to set them up manually by going on to the GUI. Before we show you the GUI, the final widget when clicked on, opens the CSV file that contains the configuration, essentially. And this is what this GUI does. It puts in the paths of the files that we have chosen in the CSV file. So, to open the GUI, click on this widget. As you can see, it's a simple GUI with 4 lines. The first line tells us how to select an input text file. So in here you can select you click on this widget if you want to carry your analysis on a singular file, either a CSV or a text file, or any other kind of singular file. So for example, if I were to click on it, it would open my drive, and I could take a look at, I could choose a text, for example, miracles thicker than fog. And as you can see, it's been inputted. This widget, much like earlier, allows me to open the input file. Next, I can choose an input file directory, so a folder containing many input files. So for example, if I were to select this folder, this is where my input would be. And I can even input the files directory to see what the files in this folder are. It is important to note that these two lines are mutually exclusive, as they are both inputs. I can either have a singular file or a directory of files chosen, but not both at once. Finally, I can select the output files directory. By clicking on it, I can select the folder into which I want my output to go once a tool is used. It is important to note that when a tool is run, the corresponding output file is usually written in this manner. It shows the algorithm first, for example, Sena SVO, OpenIE SVO, CoreNLP gender, so the annotator, followed by the name of the input file, Folktales All Countries, The Three Little Pigs, etc. If a file creates a lot of outputs, it will create these subdirectories, these folders, which is usually the case, in which you can go to actually see the files themselves. Finally, the last line, if we click on this GUI, we can extract the date from a file name. So sometimes there might be a date that you want in the file name and you want to create, well, the date out of it. So for example, New York Time _01 15 1999 _4 _3. So you would click on it, and then you would choose the format under which the file name has the date. As you can see in this case, New York Time _01 15 1999 _4 _3, the different terms are separated by underscores. And since you only want to extract the date, you would want to have the character separator as the underscore. If it was a slash, you would have a slash. So here we keep it as an underscore. And you want the position. So for example, in this case, you would want the position 2, as it is the second term after an underscore. If New York Time and 0115 1999 were switched, and 0115 1999 was first, you would want to choose first. And this would allow you to extract the date from the file name. And that is the GUI for setting up the input and output files. It's a very useful tool as it avoids needless repetition, and I hope you can use it.